Loki's final moments. Coming first on this heartbreaking journey, nothing hurts more than Loki's final stand. The scene begins with crushing silence on the ruined Asgardian ship. Loki faces Thanos with trembling courage and hidden fear. He tries to protect Thor, even while knowing the cost. His voice shakes as he calls himself Odinson, claiming family at last. Thor watches helplessly, chained and terrified for his brother's life. Loki lunges with one final act of hope and defiance. Thanos stops him easily, gripping his throat with cold certainty. Loki gasps for air, eyes filling with regret and love. Thor screams as Loki collapses lifelessly. Peter Parker buried in rubble. Following the agony of Loki's fall, the heartbreak deepens as Peter faces his own terror. Peter lies trapped beneath heavy rubble, terrified and helpless. His mask hides nothing now, only fear and desperation. He calls for help, voice shaking like a frightened child. No answer comes, and the silence crushes him harder. Tears fall as he realizes he might die alone. He whispers, "Come on, Spider-Man," trying to find courage inside fear. His hands tremble as he pushes upward. Pain fills his body, but hope sparks again. He rises slowly, shaking under the weight. A scared boy becomes a hero again. Rocket loses his friends. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. As the sadness grows heavier, Rocket's loss cuts deeper than words can carry. Rocket watches his friends dream about freedom and sunlight. Their hope keeps him alive through pain and fear. Then the High Evolutionary destroys everything with heartless violence. Lila falls first, smiling softly as life fades. Rocket screams in pure agony, voice cracking with disbelief. Teeth and floor collapse next, leaving him broken and shaking. He holds their bodies, begging them to wake up. His cries echo through the metal room like shattered hope. At that moment, Rocket becomes truly alone. His heart carries scars no hero can erase. Erik meets his father again, Black Panther. After Rocket's crushing loss, the pain shifts to a quieter wound as Erik steps into a memory he never escaped. The scene begins in a dim Oakland apartment filled with memory. Erik enters the ancestral plane and becomes a child again. His father appears, watching him with soft, broken eyes. Erik holds back tears, still hiding old wounds. Njobu kneels and touches his son's face gently. Regret fills the room like heavy air. Erik asks why their lives were shattered so painfully. His father explains with sorrow, voice trembling with guilt. They speak about loss, choices, and stolen futures. Their tears fall together in heartbreaking silence. The moment ends too soon. A wounded boy stands alone again. Wanda kills Vision, Avengers Infinity War. Wanda's tragedy crashes in like a storm with no mercy. The battlefield shakes as Wanda faces the impossible choice. Vision begs her to destroy the stone and end his life. She trembles violently, whispering that she can't lose him. Vision smiles gently, trying to ease her breaking heart. Wanda's hands glow as tears stream down her face. She releases the blast, crying in painful bursts. Vision keeps whispering comfort, even as he fades away. The stone shatters with a heartbreaking scream. Wanda collapses, shaking with grief and guilt. The world feels cruelly silent around her. Then Thanos reverses everything, stealing Vision again. Her sacrifice becomes meaningless. T'Challa's funeral, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. After Wanda's world collapses, the sorrow widens as Wakanda gathers to mourn a king who shaped their soul. The scene opens with quiet drums and soft Wakandan chants. White garments flow through the courtyard like gentle waves. Shuri walks forward, holding her grief inside trembling breaths. Images of T'Challa appear, showing his smile and endless kindness. The crowd lifts their hands, honoring their fallen king. Shuri watches, eyes drowning in unspoken sorrow. Her brother's coffin rises, carried by steady light. Every step feels heavier than the last. The drums grow louder, mourning a hero gone too soon. Shuri stands alone as the ritual ends. Her silence holds a kingdom's broken heart. Tony sees his parents' murder. From Wakanda's loss, the pain sharpens as Tony faces his deepest wound. The room falls silent as the screen begins playing. Tony watches the grainy footage with growing dread. His father appears first, calm and unaware of danger. His mother begs for mercy moments later. Tony's eyes widen as shock becomes agony. Bucky delivers the fatal blows, cold and controlled. Tony's breath breaks and anger overtakes grief. His voice trembles as he demands answers. Steve tries to calm him, but the truth cuts deeper. Tony feels betrayed, wounded by the people he trusted most. The friendship shatters instantly. Pain replaces loyalty, leaving Tony emotionally destroyed. Natasha's final sacrifice. Tony's heartbreak fades, and a deeper silence falls as Natasha faces her fate. The wind howls across Vormir's lonely cliffside. Natasha and Clint race toward the edge, each fighting to fall. Clint pleads, voice cracking with fear and love. Natasha smiles sadly, knowing this is her mission. She grips his hand tightly, holding years of friendship inside one touch. Clint tries to save her, desperate and shaking. Natasha whispers that it's okay, eyes soft with acceptance. She lets go, falling through cold air and silence. Clint collapses on the cliff, broken and breathless. His grief echoes through the empty sky. A hero dies so others may return. Scott finds Cassie grown up, Avengers Endgame. Natasha's loss lingers, and Scott's reunion brings a softer, aching melancholy. Scott runs home with desperate hope in his eyes. He searches the neighborhood, heart pounding with fear. The world feels unfamiliar after his years trapped away. He reaches his door, trembling with worry. Cassie opens it, older and taller than before. Scott stares silently, shocked by lost time. Cassie steps forward, tears filling her eyes. She hugs him tightly, clinging like a child again. Scott breaks, holding her with shaking arms. His face shows relief and painful regret. He missed years he can never reclaim. Their reunion feels warm, but heartbreakingly bittersweet. Gamora's death on Vormir, Avengers Infinity War. Scott's quiet ache fades as the story shifts back into raw, unforgiving tragedy. The sky glows red as Thanos reveals his painful truth. He says he ignored destiny once and cannot again. Gamora realizes what must happen and panics instantly. She draws her blade, trying to end her own life. Thanos stops her with crushing force and sorrowful eyes. He reaches for her hand as she struggles violently. He drags her toward the cliff's cool edge. Gamora screams, "No, stop," as fear overwhelms her. Thanos lifts her helpless body, voice breaking with regret. She falls through empty air, reaching for hope. The Soul Stone rises as her final cry fades. Peter begs not to die, Avengers Infinity War. And when Gamora's scream fades, another heartbreak rises softer, younger, and devastatingly. The battlefield grows quiet as dust begins drifting upward. Peter senses danger before anyone else. Fear spreads through his body like cold lightning. He stumbles towards Tony, desperate for safety. His voice shakes as he whispers, "Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good." Tony catches him, holding him like a frightened son. Peter clings to him, trembling and terrified. "I don't want to go," he cries again and again. Tony's eyes fill with helpless grief. Peter fades slowly in Tony's arms. His final words break Tony completely. The world loses its youngest hero. Steve and Tony break apart, Captain America's Civil War. Peter's fading echo settles, and the story turns to a fracture born long before the dust. The room feels cold as the video begins playing. Tony watches his parents die with growing horror. Steve knows the truth but stays painfully silent. Tony's voice cracks as betrayal fills his eyes. Bucky stands frozen, haunted by buried memories. Tony snaps, driven by grief and rage. The fight begins with brutal, desperate strikes. Steve pleads, trying to stop the spiral. Tony fires back, wounded far beyond words. Their friendship shatters with every heavy blow. Steve drops the shield, heartbroken and ashamed. Tony lies injured, whispering that Steve never deserved it. Two heroes fall apart forever. Before diving into the top 3, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the heartbreak. Tony Stark's death, Avengers Endgame. The heartbreak of Steve and Tony's fall fades. giving way to the universe's final crushing loss. The battlefield goes silent as Tony grabs the stones. Energy burns through him with unbearable pain. He looks at Thanos with exhausted determination. His final words spill softly. "I am Iron Man." The snap echoes like thunder across ruined Earth. Thanos fades, but Tony collapses immediately. Peter rushes to him, shaking with heartbreak. He pleads for Tony to stay alive. Tony can barely respond, eyes dim and fading. Pepper kneels beside him, holding his trembling hand. She whispers, "You can rest now," through breaking tears. Tony dies peacefully, surrounded by love. The universe mourns its greatest hero. Wanda says goodbye to Vision. WandaVision. Tony's sacrifice settles, and then a quieter personal sorrow unfolds in Wanda's arms. The hex collapses slowly, glowing with fading warmth. Wanda stands with Vision inside their disappearing home. Vision looks at her with gentle understanding. Wanda holds his face, hands trembling with sorrow. She apologizes for everything, voice breaking softly. Vision smiles, comforting her through his own fear. He thanks her for choosing him every time. Wanda's tears fall as the walls shrink around them. She whispers that they have said goodbye before. Vision answers with hope, saying they will say hello again. The world narrows to a single final moment. Vision fades as Wanda holds only empty air. The snap, Avengers Infinity War. Coming in at number 1, the universe itself suffers as heroes vanish in an instant. The battlefield falls silent as Thor's strike lands too late. Thanos lifts his hand with calm certainty. The snap echoes like a quiet, cruel heartbeat. Dust rises from heroes who fought with everything. T'Challa reaches for Okoye before fading. Groot whispers, "I am Groot," as Rocket watches helplessly. Wanda collapses, grieving Vision all over again. Strange disappears with steady acceptance. The world becomes colder with every fading life. Tony stands frozen, realizing he failed everyone. Silence fills the battlefield like a final goodbye. Half the universe turns to dust in moments. Hope dies with them.